all this time? Don't we look at...
Well, we did manage to sneak in a few warm-up minutes in the foyer.
Well, the cold hasn't stopped Luke. He's still down at the docks.
When you're number 2, you have to work harder.
Oh, Philip, your word.
It went well, then.
I think we managed to talk to a lot of people who hadn't quite made up their mind.
Let's hope they're convinced now.
Yeah, I'm surprised so many people still are undecided as to who to vote for.
Well, frankly, so am I, because the polls showed that a very small percentage was still undecided.
What difference does it make? Well, big difference, Amy. Lee's been ahead in the polls, but if those undecided go to Luke, we could win.
On the other hand, if they go to Lee, then we will win.
Well, whichever way it goes, it's pretty obvious that this spy ring revelation has caused a lot of people to rethink their votes, whether they were voting for Luke or me to begin with.
Turn this whole election into a toss-up.
Absolutely right. There's no point in our revamping the waterfront so that we're comfortable to live here and to work here if we can't get other people from Port Charles to come in. That's why I think the second biggest issue for us is the transportation system. It needs to be totally revamped. We need more buses.
So I get a job. Who's
Who's
going to take care of my kids while I'm working? The neighborhood daycare center.
Remember.
We don't have one of those. You will if you vote for Luke. More soup, anyone?
Yes, we just made a fresh batch, and it's all donated by Lucas Spencer.
Not that we're trying to bribe you.
Only you don't get seconds if you don't vote for Luke.
And that goes for the sandwiches, too.
All right. These are Lucas
I can't even believe this. Look at all these people. Is this ever going to end?
Well, it better end soon or we're going to end up with pneumonia.
Well, I admit it's a little nippy, but I mean, Luke can't live all this. All these people came down here just from work to see him.
Well, they'll be able to see him at the hospital unless we figure out a way to warm up fast.
Wait a minute, I got an idea.
What's that, set fire to each other?
No. Back in the old days in the sports center, we were cold. We used to get one of those big oil drums and catch it on fire. I'm going to go see if I can find one.
Okay.
All right, Luke. All right, baby. See you later. Hey, look. Robert, welcome to my nightmare.
Oh.
Freeze-a-thon.
Brass monkey weather down here. A couple of bags of those chestnuts, thanks, love.
No, I got it. Thank you, love.
Oh.
Tipper?
This is on him.
Like old times, eh?
Just like old times. How are you doing? It's nice to see. You know what I like about the cold? It keeps my campaign workers on their toes. As a matter of fact, your wife, what was her name?
Holly? That one, yeah.
Yeah. She's really working hard for me, man. She's walking around here threatening people with bodily discomfort if they don't vote for me.
Wish I had her on our side.
Now, speaking of your side, what you doing, man? Why aren't you out hustling up some last-minute votes for my worthy opponent?
Well, at the moment, I'm engaged in a less pleasant assignment.
Grant?
I got to get back. I'm only on a break.
How's it going for him?
We'll know by tonight.
Well,
Spencer, I'm not from the waterfront, and I'm concerned that if you're elected, you'll neglect the city for the people down here.
Well, I understand that concern because we've talked a lot about the waterfront, which happens to be my original home. But I don't think that will be a problem. You see, what I'd like to do is combine all the areas of Port Charles into one. I'd like a committee made up with representatives from each area so that we could have a sort of Port Charles UN. That way we can discuss each other's problems and hopefully solve each other's problems.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. Thanks.
Thank you.
I must say, you dealt with that efficiently.
Well, I was on the spot there, but I meant it.
I know. I like what you're doing down here, Luke.
Thank you.
I am freezing. How would you gentlemen like to give me a warm arm?
And yes.
And these blue lips.
You know, if you manage to make this thing work, I'm just going to gag calling you Mr. Mayor.
You know, if I manage to make this thing work, I'm just going to gag if you do call me Mr. Mayor.
You want to bet?
She's right. In fact, call me Your Honor. Excuse me, I got to talk to my constituent.
Your Honor?
Oh, boy, what a day. Nothing like a little brandy to smooth out the rough spots. Oh, would you care to join me?
No, thank you.
I don't remember Quinton having a blue suitcase. Who owns a blue suitcase around here?
I do.
Oh, really? Are you going somewhere?
No.
Well, Quinton just put a blue suitcase in the hall.
Good evening, all.
Hello.
Hello, Father. Why didn't you come to see me today?
Where? Drink?
Yes, at the hospital. Thank you. They told me you were there.
Well, I'm sorry, but I was too busy campaigning for Lee.
How did it go?
Not good enough.
Jesse tells me there are an awful lot of people with their votes still undecided.
All this blasted spicy business has voters in a quandary.
Why?
Lee Baldwin just has to be elected.
Well, I've packed a bag for you and made reservations for us on the evening flight. And I don't want any more arguments out of you either. Well, are you ready to go?
Didn't anything I said get through to you?
Now, listen here, Sue.
No, you listen to me, Dad. I've said this several times, and this is going to be the last. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You dragged me off to New York once before when I should have stayed and helped Grant, and I'm not going to do it again.
After what that man has done to you, I can't for the life of me understand your silly, stubborn behavior.
Well, do you understand this?
Fire feels good.
That was Blackie's idea.
Yeah? Good thinking, son.
Yeah, we used to do it down at Sports Center when we had no heat.
Yeah? I should have thought of it. We used to do it in our apartment building during the winter when they turned off the heat.
You mean you used an oil drum and heat?
Only one winter, Bobby and I burned the sofa. No, seriously, though, the landlord used to turn off the heat in the winter at nighttime.
Ours still does.
He does? Is there somebody you can talk to about that?
Who?
Well, there must be somebody you can call.
Sure we call, but it don't do no good. Nobody listens.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Sitting in that mayor's fancy mansion changes a man. You'll see. Come on now. You guys have known Luke for a long time. Has he changed?
I don't know. He's still stealing apples from out front Mr. Gianni's store.
Do you remember that? Well, yeah, I changed a little bit since then, I must say. I grew up, but I think Port Charles has grown up, too. Some say it's grown up too much, some say too little. I think it's a little bit of both, and I'd like to see those of us who live and work down here on the waterfront combine with the people uptown so that we can get this city together, because Port Charles has got a lot of heart and a lot of soul, and I'd like to get that heart thumping again. Where'd that come from?
Right there. We know it.
Hey, Frank, how are things at the Trib?
Oh, warmer than here.
Yeah?
You know, this is amazing. And Lee Baldwin's speaking at the Port Charles Banquet Room, and you're still here on the dock with the people.
Well, I figure that's where a mayoral candidate ought to be, don't you?
I like you, Luke. But a lot of us are still against gambling.
All right, well, let me let you know that the gambling issue is totally separate from my campaign.
Well, you run the casino. You're going to tell us you're not for it?
Well, of course I'm for it, because I think it would be good for Port Charles, but it's on the referendum, and you people are going to vote on it. And if you vote it down, I will have no choice but to go with what you feel is right, even if it means that I lose my whole business.
Can I print that?
In the morning edition.
Wait a minute. I think what Mr. Spencer means to say regarding the
DL, I think I
referendum.
can speak for myself. What I mean to say is that my campaign does not depend on one issue. Now, are there any more questions?
You must be freezing, Luke. Why don't we head on over to Kelly's? What do you say?
Well, the seagulls don't seem to be freezing, and I think I can stay here as long as they can.
Well, I think the crowd is kind of thinning out a little bit.
Well, darling, you all go ahead. I'm going to stay here until there's nobody left to talk to.
Hardhead, you are incredible. Yeah.
Hey, baby.
All right. Now, how did you get to England?
Plane.
Who was on the plane with you?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. I was given an injection as soon as I boarded. I awoke at our embassy in London.
And that's when Andre Chernin ceased to exist, yes.
Yes, exactly. I was given all the credentials I needed to finally become Grant Putnam.
And then what happened?
A DVX operative instructed me to go to the Dorchester Hotel and ask for Grant Putnam's room key.
Yes, you've told us all that.
Yes.
The man who instructed you, what was his name? I'm getting tired of all this.
I'm getting tired of this too, Mr. Elsmo. I have told you every move we made, every minute detail.
The only names you have named is Gregory, Natasha, and Ida.
People we already know about. Everybody else you call DVX operatives.
Now, What were their names?
I can't remember. There were a lot of people involved. I can't remember every single name.
All right, then, Grant, let's take them one by one. What was the name of the DVX agent who directed you to the Dorchester in London?
Grant.
I don't remember.
Oh, brother. All right. Who arranged for you to be placed in Port Charles? And we already know it wasn't Natasha and Gregory. What was the man's name?
What was the name of the person in Chile who kept you informed about what was happening back here and directed you to return home?
I don't remember.
Think.
Look, the guy's worn out.
Robert, we're all worn out.
Okay. Then we'll continue this tomorrow.
No, I am fed up with this stalling.
In that case, one more day ain't gonna make any difference, is it?
I don't think anything is going to make any difference.
All right, gentlemen. Okay. All right. We resume tomorrow.
I'll wait here until the guard gets back.
I told you. He's still on the side of the DVX.
Why, Grant? Why won't you talk to those people?
Look, pal. I hope you know what you're doing here. I really do.
On Ryan's Hope, Joe and Siobhan struggle to keep the moment alive.
I wish I could.
But Joe is bound to another life. And on All My Children,
Maybe we should just call off this whole wedding, Tony.
as Jenny ends her romance, is Greg beginning a new one.
You're a very important part of my life now.
I love you, Craig.
Plus, celebrate ABC Daytime's 25th anniversary all this week.
Holly! Holly?
I'm up in the sauna curing waterfront frostbite. Join me. Celia, it's Robert.
Have you heard anything?
Well, not exactly. We're having some problems.
Problems?
Yeah, it's Grant. He stopped cooperating.
Why?
I don't know. He'll tell us some things about his past, but he sort of stops short of naming names. I have no idea what's causing this. I wondered if you might have a few suggestions here.
No. Grant can be very stubborn. What are you going to do?
Well, I'll keep trying to convince him.
Robert, I really know you're trying to help. I want to really thank you.
If he doesn't come around, I may ask you to talk to him.
Well, I'll think about that.
I cannot believe it. You mean that magazine actually wants pictures of where Grant slept?
In full color, The Spy Who Slept Here. Can you imagine?
Well, you know, they might do a whole series. A spy ate here, a spy had a brandy here.
Favorite recipes of your favorite spy here.
That's absurd.
Hey, listen, they're offering a lot of money. We could make a fortune.
This isn't funny, Alan.
Monica, we're only kidding.
But it is tempting. It sounds like the limousine. Where's Quinton? He'll miss the damn flight.
Dear, we can't have that.
Good Lord, no. What a nuisance that man has been. Let him get back home to dear cousin Herbert and that wonderful new heart attack he just had over all this.
Lower your voices. I think he's coming down the stairs.
I'm leaving.
Goodbye.
take it then that you haven't changed your mind.
That's right.
Well, just as soon as my business is finished, I'll call you. I just hope that by then you will have come to your senses.
Quinton, we wouldn't want you to miss your limousine. It's waiting.
Don't rush me. And by the way, I'm counting on you to look after my daughter this time.
Well, you can depend on us.
I wonder.
Well, come on, Quinton. We'll walk you outside. Come on, come on. Here, the limo's waiting. Give him. Oh,
Alan? Oh.
Oh, I'll take this suitcase. Let's get him out. Please, this way.
Thank you. Listen. Come on, don't let it get to you.
No, he hasn't.
Well, what's wrong? I mean, you worried about something?
I just got a phone call from Robert.
What is it, Grant? Something happened?
I don't know. It's nothing like that.
I don't know, Holly. I'm stumped. I don't know why Grant won't talk.
Maybe he's afraid.
I think it's more than that.
Aren't we lucky? We have each other. We're safe.
We're warm.
At last.
Oh, such devotion. You out there freezing your numbers off for old Curly Top.
Actually, I quite enjoyed it, you know. It was so nice to see how many people really care for Luke.
Seeing him win means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I want him to be happy. You do understand that, don't you?
Of course.
Perhaps winning the mayor's race will prove to him that he can trust people again. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think he has a chance of winning?
To be honest, no, I don't.
Why not?
Several reasons. Start with, he's too young.
Do you think that you could work with Luke when he wins? If he wins when he wins.
Guess I'd have to.
But would you want to?
Be interesting.
Could be like old times.
No. Never be like old times. Could be close. Hey. Could be a whole lot of fun. Terrific, in fact. Are you thirsty?
I'm getting rather hot.
I would say done to perfection.
Well, you brought the champagne with you for a reason, I assume.
Yep. Definitely a reason. Mind you, it's completely eluded me at this stage. I remember the good old days of champagne. You know, when one used to have fun with it.
You know...
Yes?
Why did you do that?
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
But it would be a shame to waste it.
Sorry you can't stay in here any longer.
What?
I'm taking you back to your cell. Let's go.